In a previous video, I showed you how to extract interdigital gland wax from the interdigital gland and prepare your scent shoes on a mock training track. In case you missed that video, I'll put a link at the end of this video so you can go back and review it. But today, however, we're going to introduce your dog to the interdigital gland scent for the very first time. I got my shoes on. I got my bag of markers. I got my GPS app running. And in case you guys didn't watch how to lay a track, I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video so you can see how to mark a track properly. So the first step that you're going to do from the starting point, you want to walk in place. Walk in place. So you're putting more scent on the ground. You're depositing a lot more scent than normal on the ground because we're introducing the dog to interdigital. That interdigital is leaching out, falling out all over this starting spot. So you're putting a lot down in the beginning, where you start from. Do that for 10-15 seconds. Then when you start to walk, small steps. Very small steps. You're having a continuous line of interdigital. And I assume that most people had been transitioning from blood and are laying with blood, overlaying with blood, I should say, throwing out blood. You can walk right through it. So as you're going, taking small steps, smaller than normal, putting out more scent, throwing out your blood, walking through it. And you're going to continue to do this throughout the track. So I'm coming up to my first turn here. And when you get to your first turn, you want to do it again. Small steps again. Walk in place. Walk in place. Here we are at my first turn. It's going to be a 90 right. Walk in place. Walk in place. Putting out more scent, so when the dog hits this, it'll be a little bit stronger than where we just were. In place, continue. Small steps. Throwing out the blood. Throwing out the blood. I'm layering. It'll help introduce your dog to the interdigital scent. Marker here. Continue on. Small steps. Keep putting out the blood, walking through the blood. What you can also do, you can intermittently stop and apply blood directly to the hoof. Apply blood directly to the hoof. Help freshen it up. As your dog gets better tracking the hoof or interdigital gland scent and blood, you're going to have to gradually start reducing the blood. I like to start reducing the blood at the end of the track. For instance, I ran a few interdigital and blood full tracks. Now I want to see if he's picking up on just the interdigital alone. I will leave the last 20 yards of the track. I will stop using the blood, start using interdigital gland scent. See how he does. Evaluate him. If it's to your satisfaction, next time, go 40 yards. Just interdigital. See how he does. If that's to your satisfaction, go 60 yards. Last part of the track, preferably in a straight line. And if he nails that, perfect. You're off and running. Continue that process till you eventually get to a full track with nothing but interdigital scent. Another method would be leapfrogging. First part of the track, hoof or interdigital gland scent and blood. For let's say the first 20 yards, 30 yards. Next 20, 30 yards, nothing but interdigital gland scent. Next 20, 30 yards, interdigital gland scent and hoof. So you leapfrog all throughout the track like that to the completion. If he does it to your satisfaction, increase it. Next time, go 50. 50, 50, 50. Leapfrogging. Blood, interdigital, to just interdigital, back to blood, and interdigital. So eventually you want to get to the point where you're just walking normal. Now I'm just walking normal. Walking normal, walking normal, coming up to a turn. I'm going to put a marker here so I know there's a turn. It's going to be a 90-degree right. Marker, continue. Did you notice no walking in place, no stomping my feet? This is where you want to get to. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Slower is faster. So take your time. There's no shame in digressing, no shame in going back if you have to go back in time and or in length. In a perfect world, you'd want to start this probably in an open field, open area, baseball field, football field, soccer field. The reason why there's less contamination and or trash scent. What I mean by that is forest animals. There's no squirrels, no rabbits, no raccoons, no foxes, nothing crossing your scent, or the likelihood is very minimal of something else crossing the scent, contaminating it, which would entice your young dog to want to get on that fresher scent than the older, colder scent. I don't want my dog getting on that squirrel scent that just crossed the track 15 minutes before we got there. I want him staying with the deer 100%. That's why it's a good idea to start in an open area when introducing a new scent. And then as they get better, you can transition to the woods. But if you've already started in the woods, you're already on blood in the woods, you can try the interdigital in the woods. It may work out perfect for you. If he's having problems, then I would suggest going to an open area where there's less scent contamination. Also remember, you don't have to smear the interdigital on. You don't have to slice the interdigital pocket any wider. You don't have to throw out blood. But when first introducing a dog to interdigital, it makes it a lot easier for him. You want success every single time. Failure's not an option. You want success. It'll build your confidence. It'll build your dog's confidence. And confidence in your dog as well. Alright, coming up to the end of the track. I like to try to find somewhat of where a deer may bed. This looks just about as good a place as any. I'm at the end of the track. Stopped. I've got it marked. I've stopped my GPS. So a couple thoughts here. You could leave the shoes with the hooves in them. I don't like to do that because 9 times out of 10 you're going to get robbed by a fox or some other critter out here. So what I like to do is I'll take my pack off, pull out my bowl. I always use the bowl. I've learned through practice and trial and error, a bowl is best. An empty bowl. An empty bowl signifies the end of the track. It's a visual signifier in lieu of the deer. That's the way I see it. That's the way I do it. And when the dog hits it, he knows, hey, I'm at the end. Where's my treat? he's not stopping coldly, or you're not stopping him coldly, and him wondering what's going on. That will eventually be the visual cue. We're done, it's over, good job, here's your treat.